Okay, this is designed for the UI team. What you'll notice here is the UI pointers key. When you ever see a circle with this color and a number in it, it means it matches with an element on the same screen. If you see this color and a letter in it, it'll match with a color, or excuse me, a symbol and data point on another screen. So you have to go to a different slide to see it. Starting with this slide, you'll see that there's no orange elements, so we can worry about this one later. With this slide, let's start at the top. So number one, what you'll notice about number one is that it's linked to view article. So if I click view article, this entire view panel will pop out on the left hand side. It will not be there already, and this article will load right here in this top spot. You can hide it and expand it and so forth. If you click this right here, it's actually going to open up into the website where we found the article. Number two. Alright, so the first thing to notice is that number two is under Insights on Bob Doe, not on company level insights. So if we click on Bob Doe's prospect activities, it's going to pull up prospects and it's going to show his activities. Now what you'll notice is that this all is selected here, so it's going to show emails, calls, demos, meeting, everything on here. But if you just select emails, it's only going to show the email activity. Likewise, if you click calls, it'll only show calls. If you click emails and calls, it'll show both. Now, before we clicked number two, this was the only thing showing. Now that we click two, both of these things are showing, with the option of exiting out of both of these at any time. So let's say we keep both these open and we click number five. All right, that's going to pop up down here. It's the prospect's opportunities. We can exit any time. If I were to click leads here, this will pull up the prospect's leads. Notice how I cannot click opportunities right here because opportunities is showing right here. Same with activities and activities here. If we click number three right here, this window pops up. It wants to know why we are, as a user, rejecting the campaign. So we're going to give some options. And maybe if there's some other option, we'll submit it for our feedback. Number four. This number four means I just clicked on the greeting snippet on the edit button right here, and it pulls up this window. Now what you'll see later on is this window is just minimized right now, but this is what's popped up, and it's sticky, so it stays with you as you move on the screen. Let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. Wait for this to load. Don't worry about this. This is just HubSpot. All right, so the example that I'm referring to, so if I just edited that snippet, you'll see this screen pop up right here. You can minimize it, you can expand it, but look what happens when I scroll down the backside. It stays with me. That's very important. So I want to be able to keep it where in front and center, it pops out from the left-hand side, and I can close it. All right, going back. Going back to this. Okay, so that was number four. Number five, we already talked about this. It's showing opportunities. Number six, well, Hassan has not put this in yet, but this screen would pop up down here in the same view. But obviously, we probably would not want to be looking at activities, opportunities, and leads at the same time. So most likely, they'll click out of these things, so this will be the only thing showing. And of course, similarly, you can choose to show what you want displaying, so I can have all of them displaying or just some of them. All right, on to the next. Number one. So it's a little bit different, same story. So I clicked opportunities, but it's under company level insights. It shows the company insights. It'll show all the different opportunities, all the different opportunities on this company's link on their CRM. This should actually be moved to right here. Okay, cool. Nope, this should be shown down here. This should be shown right here. Let me just move that. There we go. So number two, opportunities, three activities. This is on the company level. That's why it says Okta right here, because this is the company that's in the campaign. You can see that up here, company Okta. Now this is the same screen I was talking about, number 101, before, except it's expanded. So this is like pretty much the exact same as the last screen. This is all pretty straightforward. The only thing we're changing, I asked Hassan to take this pop-out out because we're take this out. And so if I were to go ahead and type where I'm clicking right now, if I were to type something and edit this snippet, then this button would pop up under the snippet that's associated with it. So I could either save it as new or just move on. Or I could click this to add a different snippet. But if I end up typing in here and editing it, I may want to save it as a new snippet or not at all, in which case I wouldn't do anything. All right, this screen. Number 1, all right, view campaign. So before we're just looking at this, when we hit view campaign, it's going to bring up step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. Now what we'll see right here is this. So basically, this piece is really the only thing that's showing right off the bat. Notice how I put a 2 here. If I click 2, that is what's going to create this line right here to show the user, all right, this is what's going to happen if a recipient actually clicks, or excuse me, if a recipient actually clicks on the first link in an email. So I, as the user, just want to see, what's going on here. If I click this, a different path will come. If I click this, a different path will come down here, and so forth. So this one's clicked, and I've showed you this here. Okay, I click this one, so it's going to show me what I should do if someone clicks this link. I'm going to want to call them. I want to see what happens if they don't answer. Let's say they don't answer, so I click this, and it's like, all right, it looks like it's an email. This may get a little confusing, but it's pretty straightforward if you get the hang of it. Okay, on to this one. So number 1. So what'll happen here is actually this part's getting removed. So let's not worry about this screen as much. We are only going to have one prospect in a campaign, so let me take this out. Let's see here. This is what it would have popped up though. We're only having one prospect. So this screen can pretty much be deleted. The only thing to note here, of course, if you reject campaign, you do want to see why we're rejecting it. So I may delete this screen. All right, on to this one. All right, this one has a couple things. So let's look at 1. So past activities. So if I click on the call button, it's only going to show the call activities. If I click on the demos, it'll only show the demo activities. If I select all, it's going to obviously show all of these things. Remember before how I told you nothing is shown here unless we actually click one of these paths? So if I were to click no answer right here, until I do that, or once I do that, you'll see this next step appear. But if I don't do that, it's just going to look like this. Click an option above to view. All right, we have our first go to a different screen. So this one looks like it says see call list slide 8. So let's go up to slide 8. Looks like it should be slide 10 now. I changed it. Let me edit that. All right, slide 10. So number A, letter A. All right, so if I click view to call, it should bring up this screen right here. If I click go back to prospects and actives campaign, it should go back. Let's see, if I click B, it should go to right here. Call list, active sequence prospects. Actually, I'm wrong on that. Let's see here. Let me see. Oh, I know. See where that list is. Should be a screen that, one moment please, I'm sorry, right here. Okay. This should actually be B. Where was I? Right here. Okay. Go back to prospects and active sequence. So when I do that, it should go back to this screen. So slide 29, right here. Prospects in active sequence. Okay. Let me just change this. I believe that was slide 26. And then C will go back to slide 10. If I click go back to call list, it'll go here. Slide 10. Okay, on to the next one. So this screen, you see a 1 right here. A user can also click these things to bring up the step that they want to view. So if I click this is the second step. It's going to bring me to step 2. If I click the third one, it'll bring me to step 3, and so forth. Where did that go? And so forth. All right, so here's where it shows 1. So if I click this little plus sign right here, it's going to bring up the email and the predictive prospecting for this sequence. The only time this piece right here is going to show up is when a user has not sent the email. So this is before we've even sent anything out. So this is at the beginning of a campaign. We have not sent anything out, and we're just trying to make sure everything looks good before I send it out. So we want to be able to see this. Now let's say we view a screen that looks similar to this, but we have not, or excuse me, we already have sent an email out. We're just checking and seeing what when the next email is sent and so forth. Then it'll only show this piece. So if I were to click slide 26, so if I were to click here and the next step is an email, it would only show the email portion, not the rest of the Autobot right here. Okay, I think that's it for this screen. Number 3. Okay, so let's see. We have E. So go back to suggested email. When I click this, it should go back to just showing the email portion right here. I need to switch this up. Actually, I'm sorry. So when I click this, it should go back to the email. So it should look like this and so forth. When I click this to go to call mode, it'll go to the call mode right here. Similarly down here, go back to suggested email. It's going to go back to this. Just want to make sure slide 20, we have these right. Slide 19. All right. These are for Hassan. Please remove these. Anything on this? Nope. All that's pretty straightforward. Again, just an example. If these aren't showing because I haven't clicked this. If I click this, it'll start to show. And F. Okay, slide 27. Everything's messed up because I moved them around. Let's see here. So, slide 27. Oh, I know it. This is supposed to go to slide 29. Okay. So if I were to click into, let's see here. So if I were to click view right here and the next step in the campaign was an email, it will take me to this screen right here. We're on step 2, and the next step's an email. We've already sent step 1. That was a couple days ago. Now step 2 is coming up, so I want to view this. If I were to go down here and open this up and click that plus sign like I mentioned earlier, only the email will show because I don't really care what is going on the left-hand side. Okay, we may take that point back, but for now, let's do it how it is being shown on this slide. We can always take this off later. If If you click the plus sign, it'll show all these things. Okay? Okay. Now we have this dashboard. So the only time this graph shows is when you actually click on something. So because this is selected, this is showing. That should be it for now. If you have questions, I can answer them. I know this is a little bit scattered, but hopefully it's sufficient and we can get going on this. Thanks.